Okay, so we're looking at grade 9 geography, term 1 revision. So ons gaan net gou die kwartaal 1 hersien. Okay, so first of all, we've got contour lines. So wat is 'n contourlyn? So contour lines are lines that connect places with the same height. So it can show us if a gradient, the gradient of a slope, so if it's steep or if it's gentle. So dit verbind plekke met dieselfde hoogte, wat vir ons wys wat die gradiënt van die helling is. So if the contour lines are close together, then it means it's a steep slope. So die contour lyne is naby aan mekaar, beteken dis 'n styl helling. En dan die teenoorgestelde, if the contour lines are far apart, then it means we've got a gentle slope. Okay. So die contourlyne is ver van mekaar af, het ons 'n geleidelike helling. Okay, so here we've got, we can have a look at this picture. Here we can see there's 200 at the bottom, and here there's a 300, which means this is a hill going up. Okay, so dit van hier af, hiernatoe, gaan dit op. Okay, so this is a mountain. This is like or a hill. Okay, kom ons kyk na hierdie prentjies hier onder. Okay, so hier het ons 'n geleidelike helling, waar die contourlyne ver van mekaar af is. Hier het ons 'n styl helling, waar die contourlyne naby aan mekaar is. En die toppunt van daai piek en daai piek is die sirkeltjies hierso in die middel. And so here we've got two steep slopes, so the contour lines are close to each other. Here we've got two slopes two hills where the slope's quite gentle. So here we've got, this is the first hill and that's the second hill. Here we've got very steep and very gentle. So over here we've got the steep slope and over here we've got the gentle slope. So dieselfde hier het ons geleidelik en styl. So hier's die geleidelike helling en hier's die styl helling. And this one as well, that's the one little hill and that's the other little hill. Okay, kom ons kyk gou na hierdie ene hier. So hier kan ons hierdie bergie sien, this little mountain here. This cliff is very steep, dis 'n styl helling. So hier het ons die contourlyne baie naby aan mekaar. Contour lines are very close to each other over here. En hierso is dit geleidelik, so it's gentle slope here, en ons kan sien die contourlyne hier is ver van mekaar. It's far from each other. Okay, kom ons kyk gou na die riviertjies. So here we've got little rivers coming down that joins up with this river here. So all these lines are rivers. So kom ons kyk hoe lyk dit op die contourkaart. So here on the map, we've got the river valley makes a V shape here. And this one that sticks out in the middle is between the two river valleys, is called a spur. Okay, so hierdie is die deel wat tussen die twee bergies uitsteek. So ons het 'n V hier waar die vallei is, en dan is hierdie 'n uitloper tussenin. Alright, so let's have a look at another one. Here you can also just see, this is what the mountain looks like, and here are the different heights. So each height, there and there, it's the same height. So that's one contour line. Okay, it just gives you a nice idea of what it looks like in practice. Hoe lyk dit die teenoorgestel, jy weet, op die regop, en hoe lyk dit op die kaart. Okay, hier kyk ons nou na die kaart. So, we're always going to work with 1 to 50,000 maps. Dit is die skaal, the scale is 1 to 50,000. It's a topographical map, a topografiese kaart. And on these maps, the contour interval, so die contour-interval is 20 meters. So daar's 20 meter tussen elke contourlyn. Okay, and the contour interval is basically the spaces between the contour lines. Okay, so let's have a look at this one. Okay, I want to add something in here that's not on this map. Let's say over here we've got a grid reference as well. So on some of the maps you'll see there's also a grid reference. So let's say this line, this block here is A, and this is 1. So this is block A1. Okay, so if I ask you in what block is this height, then you say in A1. Okay, so dit is in blok A1, B1, C1 enzovoorts. Okay, now we can see here we've got the contour lines. The ones that's 100 is darker than the others, and here it goes up and there's the hill. Okay, hierdie is 'n uitloper. It's a spur between the river valleys. En hier het ons 'n hoofpad, the main road. En hierdie is 'n power lines. En dan hierdie is die opgeboude gebied. This is the built up area. Okay, so met 'n kaart soos hierdie kan ons mooi sien hoe lyk die terrain. We can see what the terrain looks like. Okay, now there's a couple of ways how to tell height. Okay, so hoe weet ons hoe kan ons die hoogte sien? Okay, so there's, first of all, we've got the contour lines. Okay, so die contourlyne wys vir ons hoe hoog dit is. Okay, and then here we can see on this map here, we've got these spots. Here, this line is 800, but this is 809. So it gives us spot heights. Okay. Punthoogtes. Okay, then another one that we can't see on this map here. Let's see if they've got one. No, they don't. Another one we can get on a road, usually by a bridge. If we want to know what the height of the bridge is, then I just go like that so that it comes up here. Is ons noem dit 'n hoogtemerk. It's a benchmark. Benchmark. So dit is net 'n hoogtemerk. Okay, and that shows us heights in between places where the contour lines are. Then we also get a trig beacon. Okay, a trig beacon, I also don't see one on this example that I've got here. A trig beacon, so dis 'n trigonometriese baken. Ek kan net sê dis 'n trig baken is a little triangle. So it's a little triangle and then it's got a number and a height. Okay, now on the map we can see different landforms. So the landforms gives us the difference between what yeah, as the contour lines move, we can see the difference between the landmarks. So what type of mountain is it? Is it a valley? That kind of thing. Okay, so let's have a look at this picture here. So on this picture here, we've got a mountain here. This slope, is it gentle or steep? Okay, so this here is a gentle slope. Okay. Then over here, we've got the river valley. Okay, so dis die riviervallei. En hierdie is 'n geleidelike helling. Gentle slope. Let me just make the box bigger, then you can actually see what I wrote. Okay, en dan hier, so hier is die riviervallei, the river valley, and this is the slope. But what do we call this thing in between? So there's a valley going there, but this part here is in between the valley. So what do we call that? Dit is 'n uitloper, a spur. Now I clicked on the wrong thing, so we must just wait until that comes back again. Okay, so those are the formations, the landforms that we've got. So yeah, there we go. Let's just close that. Okay, so you saw this part that comes in between them is a uitloper, so it's a spur. I'm going to show you this on a couple of different pictures because obviously every picture looks different because every valley looks different. Okay, so kom ons kyk na hierdie ene. So hier het ons, hier is die berg. So there's die bergpiek. Okay, hier het ons 'n uitloper, so the river valley goes here like that, and whenever it turns here, so here's another valley, and if it turns there, there's another valley behind that, and then this part here between the river valleys is the spur. So tussen die riviervalleie het ons die uitloper hierso. Okay, en dan is hierdie die vallei, but this one's dry. If there's no water in the river valley, it's just called a dry valley. So it is a dry valley because we can't see the river there. So it is a droë vallei. Okay. En dan kom ons kyk na die een. There we've already got it filled in. Here we've got a mountain. You can also comment on the slope. You can say this is a steep slope, this is a gentle slope. Here we've got a lake, different thing. So it's basically, instead of the river coming through here, it's a lake where the river stops here. Hierdie is die vallei, this is the valley, and this is the spur in between. En dan, this is just a little hill at the front. So het ons 'n berg, jy kan ook sê dis 'n steil helling of 'n geleidelike helling. Die vallei gaan hierso so tussen die berge, en hierdie is die uitloper, en dan hierso is net 'n heuweltjie voor. Okay, so you have to be able to identify the features on a picture or on a map. Okay, kom ons kyk na skaal. So scale is the difference between distance on the map and distance in real life. Okay, so daar's 3 maniere hoe ons skaal kan doen. I've got different pictures here so that you can just see it in a different way. So die eerste een is 'n woordskaal. Okay, so a word scale. They said here, verbal scale, word, verbal, same thing. Word scale. So it basically tells us the scale in words. So it says 1 centimeter equals 9 kilometers. That is the scale. Of ons kan sê 1 inch equals this many miles. So we're actually saying it with words. Okay. The other one is a ratio scale. So dis 'n verhoudingsskaal. And you should remember it's from maths, but a ratio looks something like this: 1 to something. Okay, so the ones we're going to work with, I said, is 1 to 50,000. And that means the thing with a ratio scale is it's always the same units. So die eenhede moet altyd dieselfde wees. So if we say this is 1 centimeter on the map is 1 centimeter in real life. Of ons kan sê 1 meter op die kaart is 1 meter in die regte lewe. So dit maak nie saak wat se eenheid jy gebruik nie, solank dit dieselfde is. So it doesn't matter which unit you use, but it must be the same. Okay, so dis 'n ratio scale, en dan kry ons ook 'n linear scale. So if we can call it a line scale. I think in your book it says line scale. Okay, so dis 'n line scale. Okay, so that's literally like here, they call it a bar scale, whatever, we know what it means. Here's a straight line. And let's just forget about the miles here at the bottom and just look at the kilometers, because we don't care about miles. So basically you have a look at this. It says the space between here and here is 30 kilometers. So en die spasie tussen hierdie en hierdie ene is 30 kilometer. So then you take your ruler and you measure this distance. So let's say this is 3 centimeters. So every 3 centimeters on your ruler is 30 kilometers on the map. Jy sit letterlik jou liniaal en jy meet daardie spasie en dan sien jy hoeveel dit is. Kom ons sê dis 3, dan elke 3 centimeter is 30 kilometer. Here's the same thing, just in a different scale. So this is, okay, this is the verbal one, the word one, where you basically just read it up into words. Here we've got the ratio scale. En hierdie is 'n lynskaal, a line scale. Alright. Sometimes you can see these little blocks there on the line scale, so each one of those blocks would be a centimeter. Okay. So dit is 'n woordskaal en 'n lynskaal. Okay. Op die kaart, on the topographical map, it's always 1 to 50,000. Remember that. Okay, nou kyk ons na die verskillende foto's. So ons gebruik lugfoto's om vir ons meer informasie te gee as wat 'n kaart kan. So it can give us more information than a map. Not necessarily more always, you have to look at them both together. Sometimes the photo gives you info that the map doesn't, and the map gives you info that the photo doesn't. Okay, so we get different types of photos. We get a vertical photo and an oblique photo. So dis verticaal en skuins. Okay, so let's look at the different types of photos. Here we've got A over here, that's a satellite. Okay, so satellite photos are taken from really high. Let me just go like that. A satellite. So it's taken from space. Satellite photo. So you can imagine, you can see on this picture as well, it's a very wide area. Okay, so a satellite photo gives us a wide area. and it's vertical, which means there's a 90-degree angle between the camera and the earth. So it's vertical, it's vertical. And we can't see the horizon. So here it would continue straight up to the earth. We can't see the horizon. Okay. Geen horizon. Okay. Then looking at photo B, that's a vertical area photo. Vertical. So it's a vertical photo is also 90 degrees. So it's vertical, as it says, 90 degrees. Okay. It's a smaller area than the satellite picture, and it also has no horizon. Okay, then verticaal, so dis 90 grade en ons sien nie die horizon nie. Okay, and then C is an oblique. Let's see if I can spell oblique. Yeah, it's an oblique photo, so it's taken at an angle. And because it's taken on an angle, we can usually see the horizon. Okay, so these ones, both the vertical and the oblique one, is taken out of aeroplanes. So dis op 'n hoek geneem. En ons kan gewoonlik die horizon sien. Okay, now this one here is a ground level photo. It doesn't have a letter there, let's just call it D, as a ground level photo. Okay, so it's not taken, it's taken by a person on the ground. It's got a very low angle. Okay, so hier het ons D, 'n grondfoto, grondvlakfoto, en dit is 'n baie lae hoek. Okay, so those are the different types of photos. We must go have a look at what each one of these, what are the benefits of these ones. So you can have a look in your textbook for more information on that. But basically with a satellite photo, it gives us a good view of the entire, of a huge area. We can see the landforms, we can look at rivers over a big area to study the course of the river. So ons kan kyk hoe die rivier loop oor 'n groot area. Like Google Earth, Google Maps, that's the satellite view. So you can see everything is really tiny. So the thing is, because everything is really tiny, you can't make out very specific things. Like if you're looking at a city, you can't see the individual buildings. So ons kan nie noodwendig geboue sien nie, soos plaashuise en so aan. So there are features that we can't see. Okay, then the vertical photo, we can see, because it's closer, we can see the more specific features. So ons kan kyk waar daar geboue is en hoe groot die geboue is. We can see roads and farmhouses, things like that. So it gives us more information about the specific area. Okay, and then an oblique photo, the thing with a vertical photo is we can't see, it's difficult to tell heights. So you can't really see, we can see there's a mountain, but how high is it in compared to the city or compared to the buildings? We can't tell. Ons kan nie mooi sien hoe die hoogte van enige iets nie. So that's what a oblique photo is good at. It shows us the different, it can show us the height of things relative to each other. Okay, so dit is dan die kaarte. Now we get something that's a cross between a map and a photo. Orthofoto. Okay, so orthophoto is a combo between a map and a photo. So it gives us a vertical photo, and it puts the map on top of it. So that means we can see the contour lines, and we can see some of the features that's filled in on the map. So it gives us a lot of information about an area. Okay, if you continue with geography in grade 10, we're going to use orthophotos with each map we're looking at. So the orthophoto, the scale of an orthophoto is closer than a map, so it's 1 to 10,000. So die skaal is 1 tot 10,000. So it's usually not, so usually when we work with orthophotos, it's zoomed in a bit more from the map so that we can see more detail, and so it's not as a big area, so we can see more detail, and it's just a part of the topographical map that's shown. So dit wys ons meer detail op 'n kleiner skaal, sodat dit alles is groter en jy kan dit van nader af sien. Okay, so that is the different types of satellite the types of photos. Yes, I think that's it. Just want to double check that I didn't leave anything out. Oh, I just wanted to add here, this here, because this is 10,000 and the topographical map is 50,000, which means this one is 5 times bigger. Okay, so dis 5 keer groter as 'n kaart. Okay, don't get confused. It's like if the number gets smaller, it means it's more detail. It's closer. So just because the number is smaller doesn't mean the map is smaller. It means it's actually bigger. It's a bigger area. Goed. Then that's pretty much all. Orthophotos always has the same scale. Other photos like vertical photos and oblique photos don't necessarily have the same scale. Okay, so that is the maps and photos. Quick revision of the term 1 work.